You got an hour and 10
A
minutes.
dusty ass guy, to no surprise. They be sounding like psychos in my requests, having whole conversations with themselves. Can you be my girlfriend? No! Who are you? Who are you? Oh my god. Vete pa carajo, coño. Who are you speaking to? Has this ever worked? No. Stop talking to yourself in my DMs. Okay. Hello, my sweeties, and welcome back to my channel. If you don't already know me, my name is Celise, and thank you for joining my spooky little family. In today's video, we are going to be talking about Bring Her Back. Let's get into the video. Oh my goodness, girl. We're here. What a journey that movie was, and what a journey it's been for me over the past couple of weeks, but especially today. It really is a scary place going through your requested messages on IG if you're a woman. It's a scary place. I got people having whole conversations with themselves in there, but you know what? You know what's even scarier than that section? This movie. Directed by Danny and Michael Filippo, starring Sally Hawkins, Billy Barrett, Sora Wong, and Jonah Wren Phillips, Bring Her Back follows a brother and sister who uncover a terrifying ritual at the secluded home of their new foster mother. Oh my goodness, this is a heavy one today, baddies. I'm not quite sure how I'm gonna get through this review today because there's a lot to talk about. All I know is the night I went to go see this, I had a lovely time because I went out with some new friends. Shout out to those 2 new friends. You know who you are. I really had to gather myself together in the bathroom after this movie because I was like, oh my God, this wrecked me. It literally wrecked me because I sat in my seat and I had tears in my eyes. Like I was ready to just go home and cry. So I'm actually really happy that I had some cool new friends to hang out with after because girl, I needed that. This movie was hitting all of the feels. This is a heavy movie. Probably one of the heaviest movies so far this year. Bring Her Back is heavy on the trauma, grief, and the gore. The gore is not missing here. Not even an ounce of gore is missing in this movie. I was straight up wincing multiple times, and that's not even an exaggeration. So before we get into the themes and more of the story, I'm really excited because we have some fresh new faces in this movie. So we have a lot to talk about when it comes to performances, because actually so far, these are some of my favorite performances in horror this year. I mean, I was pleasantly surprised. So to kick it off, we have Sora Wong, who plays Piper, and she is incredibly charming and very likable, and she does such a great job like the minute that the movie opens, which is so crazy because she seems like an actor that already has experience. And I actually watched an interview of the Filippo brothers, and they were basically talking about how she had 0 experience and this was her first ever movie. And that is so crazy to me. Like the fact that she hasn't acted professionally before this movie is so wild. Her mom actually came across a casting call on Facebook looking for a visually impaired girl, and that's how they found her. And they basically said in an interview that the minute she came in and kind of did this improvised scene that they had her do, they immediately knew it was her. They were like, she had it. Like some people just have it and some people don't, and she had it. So I loved hearing that. That's so nice to hear. It really shows in this movie. She is such a great actress, and I cannot wait to see her do more things. She was delivering, especially emotionally so much. She did such a great job. So before we get into Sally Hawkins, who I've got a lot to say about Miss Hawkins, I've been a fan of her for quite some time. But before we get to Queen, let's talk about new face that I've never seen before, Billy Barrett, who plays Andy. I actually really, really liked him. I think for me personally, Billy's performance as Andy is something that I'm not going to forget about for a while, because his character really carries a lot of what's going on, and I really resonated a lot with his character. He plays the black sheep in the family so well, and he just does it with such humility and vulnerability. He is so good on screen. What a very, very likable actor. And not to mention, he's British, and so he did this fake Australian accent, which sounds great because I couldn't even tell. But also, I'm not an expert on Australian accents, so I'm from New York, girl. I don't know. He is the one that's taking all of this abuse and trying to stay strong for his sibling. And there's a lot with that really resonated deeply with me. We'll talk about that more when we get to the story, but his performance really, really resonated with me and is something I'm not gonna be able to stop thinking about, especially with how the film goes later. He is just incredible. I really can't wait to see him in anything else. Like, I am set for this actor. Like, what an incredible performance. One of my favorite things about Bring Her Back was how authentic everybody was in this movie and how well they were in their roles. And now, since we're speaking about that, let's talk about Sally Hawkins, because she really is incredible in this. I have never seen Sally Hawkins play anything like this before, and I'm quite a fan. I've seen a few of her movies. Obviously, she's very well known. I haven't seen her do anything batshit really like this. If there's anything else where she gets to play something as batshit as this, y'all gotta let me know, because she really just is captivating the whole time. And I love that even though she presents so sweetly throughout the movie, she does so much and so little at the same time. Less is more. She does such a great job at showing these little hints with like her face and like all this little body language that she does, that you're like, something is not quite right with her. This is a little bit weird. And she just does it perfectly. She really encapsulates that very emotionally abusive, manipulative mother very, very well. Also, speaking of authentic, I don't know if you guys knew this, but apparently Sally really wanted to do all of her own stunts. She had made it clear to the brothers that she needed to do them. She was like, no, I want to do them. Like, she was just really all about being in character, and not even like in a weird like method way. She was just really passionate about the project, and it really, really shows. She's so amazing. Her character really is going through so much because she is truly struggling. She's a grieving mother who hasn't been able to process that she's lost her child, and there's just a lot that her character is dealing with, not to mention everything that she puts everybody else through because she can't come to terms with anything that she's dealing with, which is really hard to watch. Actually, a lot of this movie was really hard to watch. So let's talk a little bit more about the story, and I'm going to try to keep it short and condensed because I don't really want to spoil anything, because I really need you guys to go to the theater and see this. If you have at all been like, I don't really know if I want to see this, like I don't know if it's worth it. If you were like me and you were pretty mid on Talk to Me and didn't really have a great experience like everybody else seemed to be having, and you were like, I don't really get all the hype here, I think you might love Bring Her Back, because I actually went into this movie really not too sure if these filmmakers would make something that would resonate with me, because I did watch Talk to Me and all of my friends loved Talk to Me except for a few people, but mostly all of them loved it, and so many have said like it really spoke to them and like they felt really connected to the characters. And while watching Talk to Me, I felt like I couldn't relate to any of the characters, and I was like, oh, this is really weird. So I watched it twice and I still couldn't feel connected to the characters at all. Like, I don't know, there's just a disconnect for me with that movie, but Bring Her Back is exactly what I have wanted from these filmmakers, and this is actually one that deeply resonates with me, to the point where I literally was like, I don't know if I could watch that again. So apparently this film, I thought this was really interesting. The brothers mentioned that they were inspired by psycho biddy horror, and I found this really interesting. They said they were inspired by that, and they were also really inspired with Korean cinema specifically. And that makes a lot of sense, because even in Talk to Me, that's pretty present. They mentioned that a lot of the time in Korean cinema and in Korean horror movies, there is like a good balance between this like comedy and also like really horrific, heavy themes. I don't know if everyone here has seen Exuma, but that movie specifically from last year, which made my list, that movie has all of those same kind of tones. And I watch a lot of Korean horror films, and I also watch some K-dramas, and I can confirm that's often the case with the tones in these pieces. So I feel like that just makes so much sense, because while Bring Her Back is incredibly heavy, there's a lot of really fun moments that are genuinely hilarious. Piper has a couple really funny lines, and there's just a lot of quirky moments in it that work really well, because it really is juggling such heavy themes that you really do need that. And what's great about it is it just feels so authentic. It feels like real life. Like, it feels like, yes, this is how people process things. And now, to go back to the psycho biddy horror, I thought this was really interesting because there's actually a list that the Filippo brothers made of movies that inspired this film. So one of them, the top one actually, was Whatever Happened to Baby Jane, which is the psycho biddy horror. I mean, obviously. That's one of my favorite films of all time. I love Whatever Happened to Baby Jane. Y'all don't even know. I ride hard for that movie, okay? So I love that now, thinking back and seeing that they were inspired by this specific subgenre, you can really see it in the character that Sally Hawkins plays. And one that really made me laugh that's on the list also is Cinderella. And there's actually a fun quote on here from Michael, and he said, "The mice in this were pretty cool." I love that, because obviously in Cinderella, you know, we have the evil stepmother and things. This list is really fun. There seems to be a theme with mice in this, and also another film that really I loved seeing on here is Funny Games. So that makes a lot of sense as well. If you've seen Funny Games, the original German film, it does make a lot of sense, especially tonally, because Funny Games is a very intense movie. It's a very feel-bad movie. And I have to say, Bring Her Back is a feel-bad movie. I mean, I felt like shit after. So without spoiling anything, I'm gonna talk loosely about the themes. So in this film, we are focusing a lot on themes of childhood trauma, grief and loss, and emotional abuse, physical abuse. There's a lot going on in this movie. Now, so that I don't spoil anything, because I need you guys to watch this movie, I have to talk a little bit more about Jonah Wren-Phillips. Jonah Wren-Phillips plays Oliver, and this little kid was 10 years old when they made this, and this kid is incredible. Like, I'm gonna be so real with you guys. Incredible. And there's really barely any dialogue with this character, but he just does such a great job. Just really, like, so much is going on with him, and obviously there's a physical transformation that comes with his character as well, and he just, incredible work. I haven't seen a 10-year-old be this terrifying, but also be so sad, because there's so much going on. And when you find out what is really, really happening with Laura and Oliver, it really goes to a dark place. And this kid was amazing. I really loved his work. Like, I'm sitting here and I'm like, girl, I'm about to be 29 years old this weekend. This kid is 10. And look at what he just did. Incredible. I'm telling you guys, this movie has some of the best performances this year, and I'm not even playing. And as I talk about his character, I guess I can talk a little bit about the story without spoiling anything. Obviously, our lead, played by Sally Hawkins, Laura, is going through a loss, as well as our other characters. And I'm not gonna spoil much, but everybody is going through some sort of really heavy, horrible loss. And to see the way everyone is processing it is really hard to watch. Laura is a lost cause. She hasn't really processed it. And obviously her main goal is, I need to bring her back, you know? And I'm not gonna spoil anything, but the lengths that Laura will go is insane. And you know how I was talking about how Billy Barrett does an amazing job as Andy? I love this movie for accurately showing what it's like to be the sibling that has to hold everything together and be the strong one for everyone, and at times be the adult. And it's heartbreaking to watch Andy going through all of this. And when you find out in a really important scene in the movie what exactly was going on with Andy, and he opens up a little bit more about his relationship with his dad, the movie suddenly gets scarier from that moment, because we see how Laura processes Andy's whole experience. And it's just a really hard movie to watch. Laura is a character that, while she is going through a lot, it's not an excuse for being insanely abusive and manipulative and downright psychotic. It was hard to watch a lot of scenes between Laura and Andy, because there is so much authenticity of what that is like, and what it's like to open up to someone who ultimately isn't really looking to be there for you and listen to what happened to you. They're listening so that they can later use that information against you to hurt you. And it was hard to watch because it just felt too real. And I don't know, just thinking of that whole scene and everything, that scene really felt like a pivotal part in the movie for me. It felt like it was going to mean a lot. And by the time we got to the end, it did. And it's just a great movie. It's so hard to talk about without spoiling it, but you'll see the scene, you'll know. And if you've seen it already, you guys know what I'm talking about. Outside of all of that and grief and loss, etc., being the theme, another main theme that we have going on in this movie is water and rain. So those two things really matter a lot because a lot of trauma is going on with water. Specifically, this movie is dreary, it is cold, it's wet, it's goopy, it is a feel bad. You are going to feel so bad after. I do love the way that water and rain plays a heavy part throughout the movie because ultimately what we see in the beginning involving water, which I'm trying to really dance around here for you guys, what we see in the beginning with a certain character revolving water is already hard and traumatizing to see. And I love the way that it kind of all comes together at the end where water plays a big part later with our pool scene, which I'm not going to say anything else, but the pool scene was actually haunting for me. It was haunting for me. And the fact that it kind of just ends like that, insane. And now to get into the gore, because we have to talk about the gore, obviously. In Talk to Me, there's a lot of very, very good gore and very good scares. I think this movie does it so much better. Like, they really kind of found their voice and their vibe. I think that's what's so great. Talk to Me and Bring Her Back are both really great companion pieces. I think they both have really strong aesthetics and vibes, and obviously they're both about grief and loss and siblings, and there's a lot going on. They make a lot of sense together, and the gore is done so perfectly. It's crafted so well because it's not used in this stereotypical jump scare way. It's things that it's just imagery that will literally stick with you and sounds. There's a few scenes that were really gag worthy and had me wincing and, looking away a few times because I just couldn't handle it. A lot of them obviously have to do with our character, Oliver. And all I'm gonna say is that knife scene, girl, that knife scene is gonna have me in a chokehold. Okay? A chokehold. That was so good. And whoever thought of writing that in is sick, and I'm obsessed. I'm obsessed with your brain. It was done so well. The noises, the way everything looks, haunting. And speaking of haunting, during one of the most haunting sequences in this movie, there's an incredible needle drop, and I have to talk about this because you guys know, okay? I am someone that I love the Veronicas. So hearing the needle drop of Untouched by the Veronicas, girl, that song raised me. That song raised me. I have that song on multiple playlists. So the fact that they played that banger during such a crazy sequence that is haunting, I see you guys. I really love the vision. I love what they're doing tonally, and I love that they're so new but already have it figured out. Like, they really know what kind of art they want to create, and they know how to really affect people and get under their skin in a different way and in this deep, very authentic way. That's my favorite thing about this movie, is that everybody really feels like real people. Okay, nobody's talking like robots. A lot of the times there is a disconnect for me in certain movies because of the way characters speak and dialogue and just how a lot of things don't make sense. This movie makes so much sense to me. Everything every character was doing makes so much sense. And obviously that ending is tragic. This is a tragic movie. That is all I have to say. A movie I will not be revisiting anytime soon. This movie is going to haunt me for a very long time. And actually, that is why I love it so much. I can't wait to see what they do next. Oh my God, what a picture. And with that, I am going to be giving Bring Her Back 4.5 levs out of 5. I think this was an incredible film. The performances really moved me, and a lot of the writing really, really touched me. And woo, girl, that gore is sticking with me. So many sequences that I have not stopped thinking about up here. This is exactly what I want in a grief horror film. So thank you so much to Danny and Michael Philippou. This was everything I wanted. If you haven't seen Bring Her Back yet, be sure to go and see it. To go see it this week or this weekend, and make sure after you get a sweet little treat, okay? And go on a little walk after, because you're gonna need it. That's literally what I did with my friends. We went on a walk and we got a sweet treat, okay? And that's exactly how you should end your night when you watch this movie, because you're gonna go see it. You're going to the theater. I'm hypnotizing you and you're gonna go. You're gonna go, you're gonna sit, and you're gonna go. All right, you guys, that is it for today's video. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to like and subscribe, as it really helps me a lot. And be sure to click that little notification bell to be up to date every single time I upload. And let me know in the comments if you plan on going to see Bring Her Back. If you already saw it, let me know what you think of down below. If you are going to spoil anything, make sure you write spoilers in big letters, okay? Because there's a lot in this movie. We do not want to spoil for people who haven't seen it. Anyways, I'd love to talk all about it. Thanks so much for watching, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye.